From Creamer Media in Johannesburg, this is the Real Economy Report. Developments at South African company Carl Zeiss Optronics are ensuring the company keeps its place as a top periscope maker. Campbell reports.
Carl Zeiss Optronics recently opened a new periscope manufacturing facility at its plant in Irene, Centurion, just south of Pretoria. Company MD Cobus Viljoen explains the importance of the new building.
Well, this is basically a next step in a long history that we have in submarine periscopes that started in the 90s with making periscopes for the South African Navy, and then followed up by a relationship with Carl Zeiss in Germany that started in 2000. We've since been manufacturing quite a lot of periscopes for the world market, and this is a new investment because we're actually just in the process of starting to design a new class of periscope for the world market, and this is what this facility is about. Carl Zeiss Optronics in South Africa is owned 70% by Carl Zeiss Optronics in Germany. That in turn is fully owned by the Carl Zeiss Group. The other 30% of ownership is still with Campbell in South Africa. Apart from one employee, we actually have only South African employees down here in South Africa, and we are the center of excellence for hull penetrating periscopes in the whole of the Carl Zeiss business.
The Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Rusty Higgs, highlights the importance of the new periscope facility to the South African Navy.
For us to operate submarines is of vital importance. For us to have a good periscope maintenance and support facility here is very, very important strategically for South Africa and for the South African Navy. The periscope is a vital instrument in a submarine. Periscope allows you to look and to gather information whilst the submarine is dived. So you're below the surface of the sea. It allows you to get a good idea of who you are hunting, of what's going on there, to classify things so that you don't sink the wrong people. And that's in fact it. And it also comes down to submarine safety. For submarine safety in whatever conditions, at night time, in fog, etc. This is going to be this is your prime tool in making sure that the submarine is safe and that you're operating it properly. But at the same time, it's probably the most important tool for the officer commanding of a submarine. He's got to feel very comfortable with his submarine, and for him to feel comfortable with his submarine, he must be very at ease with his periscope. His periscope allows him to fight the submarine well, and that's what it's all about.
Other news making headlines this week: the Ports Authority takes an activist stance to foster new private terminals. Building insulation is set to gain popularity, and South Africa signs an agriculture MOU with Swaziland. The head of South Africa's National Ports Authority has pledged to adopt a far more activist approach to the development of harbour infrastructure and terminal capacity ahead of demand, and to do so in partnership with private sector investors.
With the Port Act now being implemented, any development of new facilities would have to be developed by the private sector. So the type of port authority that is now emerging, the type of port authority that you'll soon be seeing will be an activist type of port authority. A port authority that engages with cities, and we've started that process in Mossel Bay, in Cape Town, Richards Bay, in Durban and so forth.
The use of insulation and passive design in buildings will gain momentum as the cost of energy rises and energy demand exceeds supply.
One of the biggest trends that we're all well aware of is the rising cost of energy. Buildings, be it residential or commercial, consume about 40% of energy. And in order for us to bring this down, we need to look at insulating better, and we need to look at reducing our heating and our cooling costs. And the way to do that is with insulation.
South Africa's Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries and the Government of Swaziland signed a Memorandum of Understanding in September to collaborate on research, technology and capacity building.
On behalf of the Government of South Africa, we are signing a Memorandum of Understanding with the Kingdom of Swaziland. We commit ourselves to assist them with research, technology, capacity building, but more particular to working towards climate smart agriculture.
That's Creamer Media's Real Economy Report. Join us again next week for more news and insight into South Africa's real economy.